Thousands of people marched in Paris today, protesting for jobs and industry. Major unions including CGT, Solidaires and FSU organized the demonstration amid a surge in redundancy plans. The protests highlight growing concerns over job security and privatization, with unions warning the situation is worsening. Now, last week, the number of redundancy plans in France reached 286. According to union reports, that number has exceeded 300. This means around 200,000 employees across the country risk losing their jobs, both directly and indirectly. The protesters are calling for immediate action to protect workers' rights and to safeguard jobs in industries which are facing restructuring. Thomas Vacheron, the Confederal Secretary of CGT, has been vocal about the alarming rise in redundancy plans. According to him, the CGT has warned the government of increasing layoffs since May. Now, despite these early warnings, the unions say no significant action has been taken, leaving workers vulnerable to job losses.
The CGT has been alerting us since May about the numerous redundancy plans underway, but we were not being listened to. We warned again last September, including the newly appointed Prime Minister, about 180 redundancy plans, and still there was no response. Today, the situation has worsened, as according to the CGT's count last week, there were 286 redundancy plans. We are now over 300. This represents roughly 2,000 employees in the country who risk losing their jobs both directly and indirectly.
Unions are also highlighting the issue of outsourcing, particularly within Europe. Vacheron points out that while outsourcing is often blamed on companies relocating overseas, a staggering 80% of outsourcing occurs within the European Union itself. He argues that this is a serious threat to workers in France and other EU countries. The European Trade Union Confederation, the ETUC, has proposed a halt on redundancies across Europe. They aim to halt job cuts and prevent social dumping, workers' exploitation through lower wages and poor conditions. Unions are calling for a unified response from across the continent to protect jobs. Meanwhile, in the transport sector, unions are warning of the danger posed by privatization of the SNCF, the National Railway Company. Fabien Valadieu, Federal Secretary of Sudrail, has emphasized that the privatization of rail system will have serious long-term consequences for both workers and the public.
This is why we're here, not only to express our solidarity, to get all necessary information for us, but also to push our institutions, be it European Commission, or send very clear message to also European Council about the situation, and to push them to act, not only talk but also to act.
Unions warn that the privatization of vital services like rail transport could lead to rising costs for consumers, a pattern seen in other privatization efforts such as in the energy sector. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.